Hi guys, it's Mark here from Newbie Prepping. Well, what troublesome times we live in. You know, I always thought I had a bit more faith in the governments not to go down certain roads. Hey ho, we are where we are. So, reason for the video. I wanted just to go over a couple of points and see the similarities and try and judge where we're heading. The way we can see the similarities is by looking at our history and seeing how that compares today and the potential road of where we could end up. Now, some of this is factual, so especially on the history side, it will be factual, and coming into to the present would also be as factual as I know, and the rest for the future is either hearsay from what's been said in Parliament by our leaders, and some would be conjecture of what could possibly be in the future. Now, I know some of you are going to say, oh, conspiracy, especially when you get to the future part. But who knows what the conspiracies really are now? I didn't think we'd be on the road where we are, personally. So, a little bit of history. September 1919, I believe it was. I'm just going to get my glasses, that's how old I am. Yes, September 1919. Adolf Hitler joins, gets into politics and joins a party. Now, in 1920, the name of that party got changed to the National Socialist German Workers' Party. Now, we all know that party was the Nazi Party. 18 years later, things start to change. Now, there would have been a slow momentum towards it, because obviously I do not believe all of the German people would have seen the signs, and if they knew right at the start of slight law changes, they would end up with the Holocausts. So in October in 1938, Germans withdrew all of the Jews' passports who lived in Germany and give them new ones with the letter J on to identify them, to give them a mark. You know, they weren't allowed in certain certain shops, certain areas. In September 1939, just under a year later, the first badge was being issued out. By November, it was a common policy throughout Germany and Poland, because obviously Poland now has been invaded by Germany, that all Jews over the age of 10 had to wear the Star of David, so they'd be identified as a Jew. Could that be happening? Well, we shall see. So that was a bit of history of where things happened in the past. Now, to get to that, they would have had slight law changes, just a little bit after a little bit after a little bit. And then once they got their feet right under the table, they didn't care about the public. They didn't care what the German people thought, because most of them were just following because they didn't want to raise their heads up. They didn't want to stand out and got noticed and faced the consequences, because it weren't just the police, the SS, the Scarbo, the politicians. It was also some public who grasped on others, informed, probably be the better word of saying, so I don't offend anyone. But they still grasped and still encouraged others to change, not to say nothing. Don't make waves. Back into modern days. It was January 29th, 2020, when the first 2 people was diagnosed with a certain virus. Now, they were Chinese nationals, and they had a flight from Wuhan. They was taken to RAF Norton Airport and was in quarantine. January 2020. What a 2 years we have had. Quite disastrous 2 years, really, for the economy, people's lives, people's mental health. And where are we at today? Well, law changes. A new law that's going through is the police have a right to arrest you if you shout at a protest. It has to be a peaceful protest, so you're not allowed to shout. Well, things start happening, don't they? There's cards what people have to take round. Everyone knows the cards. Everyone knows my view on the cards, and an app which doesn't really work, which has to be shown if you're going into places. Again, new laws being thing. Now, anyone who doesn't follow the guidelines and don't get the 2 doses are bullied and made fun of, called names, and it said, well, they're the ones spoiling it for the rest. Okay, we're the ones spoiling for us. But surely, if your Jibberjab was so good, you're protected. So the only one at risk is me, or not. So you're at risk as well. Now, that just shows you how good this Jibberjab really is. Now, it's a treatment. Don't kid yourselves. It's a treatment. It doesn't stop you from catching anything. Everyone knows what it is. And it doesn't stop you from passing it on. So let's not call it the V word, because that's an insult to people's intelligence. It really is an insult, because everyone goes around and say, you must be V. Well, my view is it's not. It's a treatment. So until it is a V, I'm not going to be getting anything. Now, yes, I will be punished. Yes, I won't be able to go on aeroplanes unless I can prove I don't have a disease of some kind. I can't go into cinemas. Well, you're punishing me because I'm healthy. I haven't caught anything, but you're punishing me. Because, as it stands, just because you've got this app on your phone to say you're okay, well, you was only okay from the last time you was tested or showed any symptoms. You could go into that cinema and be carrying just because you've had the 2 Jibberjabs and the extra stab in the arm doesn't mean that you don't carry it around. So let's not kid anyone saying it's the ones who don't have the 2 jabs are the ones that's carrying it around, because that's a lie. And one thing I really hate is liars. And at the moment, our politicians are lying. They use statistics where, yes, they are true, but they're taken out of context. So they say 90% of people in hospital are Vs. Well, check the statistics, because yes, that is true, but they're manipulating the data and only showing you one part. Now that one part are children under 18. Now, as far as I know, they don't get the Jibberjab until they're 15. So they're manipulating. Moving on from that part, because some of you out there are just going to say, you're lying, you're not telling the truth. Tough. I don't really care. You can call me anything you want, but a lot of us know the truth, and we're the ones being victimised, and we are being victimised. If you lived in Australia, being next to someone who had a confirmed case, you had close proximity to them, you're going to go off to a health facility. What's going to cater to your needs? Yeah, we all saw what these health facilities were like during World War II. And in China, because there was loads of civilians taken into these health facilities. There is another name for them, but if I say it, this probably will get a strike. But you know what I mean. So, well done, Australia. You're looking more and more like China every day. And let's come to the great European Union. Okay, the leader of the European Union versus I'm not going to give her the time of day, really, because I always thought if you was a president, you would be committed to doing that job, and trying your utmost to do the best for that job. But she's a member, or she sits on the board of the World Economical Forum, and we all know what they want. They want you to own nothing, be happy. That went down like a sack of potatoes, didn't it? They stopped using that one, didn't they? But they're still pulling the strings. They're still saying people got to get the old passports. And what will be next? Because that passport is on your phone. Now, what if you ain't got a smartphone? Some people don't have phones. So they're going to come up. This is conspiracy, hypothetical, in the future, maybe. They would turn around and say, oh, well, the bits of paper what we give out, because they give out bits of paper if you ain't got a phone, smartphone, that can be photocopied. It can be passed around. It can be given to someone who's unclean. And they could go down the road, because obviously they're making, in Austria, they're making the old injection mandatory. Yeah, great. Hopefully not, because who was born in Austria, and look how middle part of the 20th century, the 20th century went. Great. So, and it looks like that's going to happen here in the UK. Bobo, lies through his teeth and he should be called out for a liar. You know, he did a press conference and said that he disagreed with ID passes, and he would eat it up and spit it out, tear it up in front of the person. Well, believe me, I will do the same. I will come over to 10 down the street and I'll rip mine up right at the gates, because the police won't let me through, because I'm on VED and I'm dirty and disgusting. I'm going to kill everyone around me because I'm not going to go with the flow. So after the passports, it will be dreaded word, the old stab in the arm. They would have to tie me down. Seriously, tie me down, and you do that, and you better run. And once that's all done, they're going to say people need to have a 6 monthly boost. Yay. Because obviously the disease changes. So they will turn around and say, well, not as everyone's not got a phone, we're going to give you a chip in the hand or chip in the arm, because it's more reliable, it's more safer. And those peasants who don't own phones and try to escape getting a Jibberjab, now we can test them. We know that they've been a good boy. And once you've got that chip in your hand or in your arm, wherever they want to stick it, up their own jacksies, as far as I'm concerned, that's it. They will know exactly where you are. Now, there is a woman's Tampax. Look it up, because it's smart Tampax. It's put in daily, and when the women go to the toilet, it releases and everything comes out. It would also check your health. It would tell you if you've got any venereal diseases. But would it tell you? Oh no, that'd be sent to your doctor. Exactly what that chip would do in your arm. It will relay information where you are, what you're doing. And old Bilbo wanted to, in the COP, he turned around and said he wanted to be a cashless society. What better way of having it in your chip? You know, have your chip and you can scan from your chip across the barcode reader, and it will know how much money you got, where you got it from, and that's how you're going to get paid. This is all hypothetical. It's all could be conspiracy, but I didn't think we'd actually be down the road of having talks about mandatory these. Well, you know, in the 13th century, the barons at the time, because the peasants didn't count, the barons at the time was fed up with being persecuted, land taken away from them, held to ransom. So they rose up against the king, and the Magna Carta was formed. These days, they've done away with the Magna Carta, and obviously we're supposed to have the human rights. Yeah, right. You know, the only people who've got the human rights are the ones coming across on boats. You know, they can do no wrong. You know, but citizens of the countries, you misbehave, you get thrown in prison, you get fined, you get punished, you get told to stay indoors. You know, following the scientific advice, like Jack. You know, they wouldn't know how to follow scientific advice if Albert Einstein come out from his grave and turned around and said, this is what you need to do. They have no idea what they're doing. They're making it up, and they're listening to, I can't even pronounce his name, I'm not going to, you know, all the bigwigs of who want control, you know, because it's going to get to the stage where all your electrics prices are going up, as we know. Fuel prices are going up. They said that we're going to go switch over to electric cars. Have you seen the price of electric cars? They won't go down, and you're not going to get a second-hand one because they're all brand new. So when they do away with all the petrol cars and diesel cars, you can have electric. And there's already been a report out, what I heard from Jeff, that not everyone's going to be having a charging point, because what about a block of flats? How are they going to charge up their cars? They're going to have to share cars, so you don't own a car. But be happy, because you don't own anything. Be happy, smile, and the world will smile with you. Yeah, just wait till the revolution. So we're not going to own cars. Because if you did own an electric car and you're rich enough, you're going to be really rich to charge it up. It's going to cost a bomb to charge up an electric car in the future, especially the way the prices are going. And they will make it higher. So, Joe Public, you get that. You be a good boy, good girl. Get on the bus, because they're electric. The factories what make the cars. Oh, too much carbon footprint, not everyone can have it. Thanks. So our freedoms are going to be taken away from them slowly, and if they do that with cars, your holidays going across to Ibiza, Spain, Gibraltar, yeah, it'd be back to the days when it's only the rich. We'd have to get a boat over and row, and we've got quite a lot of people who know how to row. Well, what a wonderful world we live in. Sad to say, I am absolutely pretty disgusted in our governments, and I don't know why they haven't got the bollocks to stand up and say, no, this is not going to happen. Perhaps in their parties they're taking the backhanders, from all the global elite. Again, conspiracy. Again, hypothetical conversation. So it's my opinion. But let me know in the, give me a thumbs up if you think. You don't have to. Don't care. But if you think the same way, and leave a suggestion down the bottom. It's sad to see this country go down the pan like it is, but I will say this, Bilbo, old Bobo, he's going to go down in history, because when I saw the news clip about in Belfast, he has united the Protestants and Catholics. The first Prime Minister to do this. They was both all on the streets, both Protestant and Catholics. Just unfortunately it was against you, Mr. Prime Minister. We got a liar as a Prime Minister. We've got a president who doesn't know the time of day. And we've got a president of the European Empire whose sole purpose is to make you all poorer and and be subdued to their way of thinking. So, and Nick Clegg, I'm going to call you out as a liar too. You knew about the European army because it's on its way, and you lied. So you're a disgrace, absolute disgrace. And there's no way you didn't know about it, because if Nigel Farage knew about it, you knew about it. You knew what the plans were, and you went on national TV or national radio and you lied. You're a disgrace, mate. You lied to the British public. You're just as worse as Tony Blair lying to take us into a war. He knew the real facts about what was going on, and he lied. So, pair of you. What happens to politicians when they go through the Houses of Commons? Something happens, because I'm sure there was decent people before they went through that building. Perhaps we should tear down a building and build a new one. You know, there must be ghosts in there what haunt them and turn them into these lying, corrupt, thieving little shits. You know, taking backhanders, getting caught and just having a slap on the wrist, lying, laughing about having parties, not having parties, or a work do with cheese and wine. It's ridiculous. You know, you set the rules, stick to them. You know. Also, with all these professionals, all these experts, why can't they be questioned properly? Why are they so dismissive? Or they will come up and say, "Oh, that's incorrect." Well, if you go to one scientist, he gives you one opinion, and another scientist gives you another opinion. It's the same with doctors, you know, and them saying, "Oh, it's best for everyone." Well, is it? It's like, I don't say, "Oh, I'm at risk of having heart attacks, so do open heart surgery on me just to check, just to make sure I'm okay." You know, because it's pointless. It's wasteful of funds and time of other people. So saying that the majority of people need treatment for something that's going to be quite mild, why are we spending money like this? Oh, is it to line the pockets of Big Pharma? Definitely, you know, because Big Pharma needs money. If we do not question, we will be lied to even more, and this is what's happening. We are being lied to, and it's people like myself and other great YouTubers out there, and some percenters. We will look at their evidence, find other evidence to bring in question what they're saying, and when we want to say, "Well, what about this?" "Oh, you're just a anti, you know, you're conspiracy, you're everything else under the sun," and they try and demonise you, make you the villain, i.e. me, because believe me, I'm the villain now, right? Because I don't believe in what Burrow, you know, Mr. Prime Minister is saying, because he's listening to the same people who, "I've got my 5 minutes of fame, I need to stretch it as long as I can because I get paid so much. The taxpayer is paying me my salary and I want more. I've got the taste of this free money. I get chauffeured around, I get meals paid for me." Yeah, sponger, all of you. You know, taxpayers are the money and you're sponging, because that's what you are. You know, you're not really good at your job. You know, because, you know, here's the thing. Albert Einstein come up with a theory, and it was everyone, all the rest of the scientists said, "Oh, you're wrong. You're a kook." It was proven right. So the rest of these average scientists, which I'm going to say, and average doctors who think they're so good, you're just an average guy, you know, and you're getting your 5 minute of fame. People will remember you, you know, but look, we also remember Himmler, not for anything good. We remember Adolf Hitler, not for anything good, you know, and how many of the Nazis we remember not for anything good, and you're going down in history. By Jove, you're going down in history, not for anything good. And obviously you got the things of the politicians, not for anything good. You know, Matt Hancock can't keep my hands off someone's backside, not for anything good. You know, and other ones who have got pals and friends who, "Oh, I can make that and make some money. Here you go, here's a £1 billion contract. There you go, mate. Don't worry about giving an estimate of how much you're going to spend. Just take the money. Not for anything good. You know, I think I might talk to Rich and some other t-shirts. Not for anything good. You know, but you know, it's a bonkers world. It really is. It baffles me that people are going around with closed eyes, or they're scared to stand up, and they're allowing certain people to stand up and fight for them. You're cowards. You know, just going with the flow and saying, "Oh, well, if everyone does it, it'll be okay." 2 weeks to flatten the curve. We need to lock down over Christmas, but it's never going to happen again. They're trying it. They've already put some restrictions in. You know, yes, that's to try and divert the attention from having the parties. You know, the head of the ship, the captain, the CEO takes responsibilities. You know, Prime Minister, take responsibilities of your staff. Own up to it, face it, and then they'll let her in. You know, stand down and go out in disgrace, because that's what's happened. Your disgrace, allowing things to happen and then try and cover it up. I can't say too much because I'm already being watched on Facebook. I made a comment and straight away a little banner come up underneath. You know, so being watched. So if you suddenly see, don't hear from me ever again, I'll be in some camp somewhere at the Hebrides or Dartmoor or the Moors, locked away because they don't like people who can think, who will stand up to them. And I'm going to be standing up. There's no way I'm taking any jibberjab. No way that I'm going to have a passport. And as I said, they would have to sit on me, tie me down to give me any jab, and then they would have to run, because that jab will go straight back up their chacksies. You know, but hopefully, if things happen, we're making plans to go off grid. The prices of electric's going up all the time, so we're going to sort ourselves out, go off grid. We won't have phones anywhere around us, and we're going to have a peaceful life, hopefully, unless they come looking for us, which they will, because they want full control. They don't want anyone out there who can mount a resistance to them. But I think everyone's had enough of me waffling on, and some of you saying I'm going to be talking crap. Some of you are thinking, "Ooh, a light bulb's just here." So, you know, give us a thumbs up if you like. I would say give a thumbs down if you didn't like it. All it says is thumbs down, and you can't see how many people put thumbs down. Yay! Because people are so sensitive. I don't want a thumbs down. Oh, I don't care. Put a thumbs down if you disagree. You know, leave a comment if you disagree, or if you do agree, leave a comment. Like, share it, because more people should really know what the possible future is. It's just one passport today. You know. Oh, New Zealand. They're banning cigarettes. Way. I'm a non-smoker, so I don't really care. But banning cigarettes. Oh, the tobacco companies are going to love her, aren't they? Oh, yeah, they're going to pull funding from her pockets. You watch. So, anyway, give us a thumbs up if you liked it or agreed. Subscribe and keep watching, and press that little bell button and select all. You know, because we do. I did like some bonkers ones with making a cup. And we will be getting back out when Rich stops gallivanting over to concerts. And enjoying yourself too much. So have fun, be safe, keep your chin up, but keep your head down. It's not worth everyone getting a target on them, and don't be a hypocrite. If you do go one way, that's fine, but then don't say about other people who you would normally be associated with, oh, you need to do it too. No, I don't care if you do. You have your reasons. You shouldn't care if I don't, and that should be the same for everyone. But be safe. See you next time. And till then, good night everyone, and be safe. Bye.